Okay, hello and welcome. Thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody for tuning in. My name is Alex. I'm the Community and Ecosystem Growth Manager here at PA3. Today I'm joined with Daniel.
Hi, my name is Daniel Harell. I'm the Chief Science Officer. I do all the technical and product development things here at PA3, and I'm happy to show you some updates today.
Amazing. Looking forward to diving into it. So today we have episode 3 of our Trust Layer Talks. Episode 3 is called PA3 Nodes Explained. So really looking forward to diving into PA3 Nodes today and hearing some updates from Daniel on where we are. So Daniel, I guess the best way to sort of kick things off, right, is quite simply, what is a PA3 node?
So we at PI3 we're creating containerized AI, and so this is rather than having an AI module that similar to the centralized ones like ChatGPTs, the Anthropics. We're bringing the AI agent to you rather than the other way around. And so a container is where you as community members can run agents securely and store your private data in their store your private data. And each container can run anywhere. It can be a local device. It can be on your PC if you really want to be extra secure. You can also run on a cloud environment, and then in a decentralized infrastructure as well. We're trying to give maximum fees flexibility so that you can have more control over your AI experience. And these containers are how we do that. And the node is your gateway to those containers. It's what runs, is what coordinates those activities. Because you can have multiple nodes that can be paired together for bigger tasks like AI training. And so you can, so the nodes and is your stake and your ownership of this AI future.
Exciting. Especially like that last part about being the stakeholder or ownership of the future of decentralized AI, right? And for people that are listening to this episode that maybe listen to episode 1 and episode 2, I'm sure you're hearing some familiar words, AI containers, nodes, maybe a few others. So let's really try and unpack that a bit more today and get to the bottom of the understanding for everybody listening, right? So I guess my next question would be, why did PA3 decide to build a containerized, decentralized node system rather than using the traditional centralized model that we're used to seeing?
So it's all about empowering people's interactions with AI and improving security. So like I discussed in our last episode on personalized inference, you want to have your data, you want the AI to kind of know you, to be a part of, know your whole person in order to give you the best personalized experience. But you don't want to become vulnerable because of it. Uh, so like in the centralized model that's more present nowadays, you submit your data to a black box. I have no idea what they're doing with it. If I just put my health data, my travel data, my finance data in and say, please give an inference, it will do that. But now that data is under their control. They can use it for their trainings. They can use it for for selling through data brokers, whatever they want. But more importantly, it's not in your hands anymore. That's what PI3 is using our containerized model to flip the script on that. We want to bring the agents and AI activities to your environment, not the other way around. And that so imagine having that data, like if for your case you had your health data, my medical record, I could with confidence put it in my container, which is powered by the node, and then upload an agent into that container, say, please run this inference, and I have confidence that is secure, that is private, and that it stays under my control, which will give me abilities to do more with AI.
It
Furthermore,
makes sense. No, go
uh,
ahead, please.
we're also doing we're using a lot of Web3 and blockchain concepts that we can do because we're in the Web3 space. We're using containers, like zero knowledge proofs. So there's a way to answer questions that you don't have to say, for example, your birthday. In the US, we have, you can't drink until you're 21, but I don't have to actually tell someone my birthday. You can just say yes or no if you're over 21 or not. And you can do that type of interaction. So you can proceed with the inferences that you want while maintaining a sense of privacy.
Amazing. Yeah, I mean, I think that's such an important part of it. And it's something that I always highlight as one of my favorite parts of the project is just that handling of data, and ownership of data to yourself is something that's massively important to me. I've never liked the ideas of, as you quite rightly said, our data is being used, possibly even sold by a lot of these other sort of centralized entities. So the idea that you're able to control your own data, keep that data secure, and then have that data actually be used to receive personalized inference is, obviously the direction that we need to be moving in for AI. Okay, so with that being said, you've explained, a little bit about what a PA3 node is, a little bit about why we're going for this containerized, decentralized node system rather than using the traditional centralized models. So what if we were to sort of dive into the functionality a bit, and say, like, what do the PA3 nodes actually do on the network day to day?
Right. So I'll walk you through a slide or so just to highlight. So let me share my screen.
Yeah, please, please.
Here we go. All right.
Perfect. I see.
Perfect. All right. So this is a kind of a diagram of what our nodes look like. And so we've walked through this slide I think in the intro call we had about 2 weeks ago. So as I said, the nodes hold your AI containers, which are more importantly have your decentralized inference machine. This is how your inferences are processed in a distributed way. They also hold your catalog of agents. So we've highlighted, a clothing, predictive one. And previously, we've highlighted a restaurant search in London with Mr. Bao. We also highlight a few others in our blogs and our social media. So each one of these is one agent in your toolbox. So these are in your containers, but also your data sets and all your assets and credentials to maintain trust. Now this is an isolated entity, like it's secure, it's for you, it's your digital real estate in the AI space, but it's also a community. So these containers are also can be connected to others. And so you can have, if you had a task that required 3, 4, 5, 100 of these, you can reach out to a network of nodes and ask others to contribute their compute to your task. And then as a community, we are going to work together to process that information quicker, more efficiently, or more accurately. And so
Okay.
this is on a big scale, that's what it is. But on a day-to-day, this is your personal assistant. This is your whole person helper that can understand you on a greater scale, understand all the parts besides what's available via prompts, and then give you the best AI experience.
Okay. So it's becoming quite clear that the nodes really are a key part of the network and contributing to the future of decentralized AI, right? They're a very pivotal part of what we're doing here.
They're the key. The they're the gateway, but they're also the ownership of. So you own a node, you own a part of the AI, this network, which gives you access to all these wonderful features we've talked about over the past few weeks.
Okay, that's very cool. Is there anything else that you can show me on this?
Yes. So when it comes to like that personalized AI experience, which we talked about at length last week, and so I want to highlight
Hmm.
this again. The node is how you keep things secure as well. And so the node here is this top part, and it's
Okay.
connected to it's connected to your private vaults, which are this is your secure data set with highest security level. And so you would have data connections to that, to your Google Drive, your Outlook, your X-Space, and anything else.
Hmm.
So as a result, you can have this data automatically feeding into your vault so that it's getting that bigger picture. So this node is the centerpiece. It truly is like the spoken wheel concept, you know.
Mm.
You have all these pieces that AI, the infrastructure is working for you to make a better AI experience, but this node is the centerpiece coordinating all that activity. And so I like just to emphasize, this is how the node, how PI3 understands you better and then works better for you.
Okay. All right. Great. So the node essentially is well. Thank you for walking me through the sort of security factor of things as well. That's obviously something that's going to be really important to all of our listeners, just to understand how that dynamic works with security, keeping data private, all whilst giving you this personalized inference. So it's starting to really come together. Um, but I guess let's break it down in a way that maybe the listeners can understand even more, right? Like, as a listener, why would I want to hold a node? What's the benefits?
So first off, this is your personal kind of your personal space and your personal tool that you need to run Pi3, but also to run your personalized AI experience. However, this is also your chance to be a landlord in the future of AI. So this is um, the node is your actual ownership in an almost like a Pi3 island or in a nation. You've each person who buys a node, who owns a node, is in a community. And this community, we're working together, we're sharing tasks together, but also you can rent out your space. You can do whatever you want with it. If you want to keep it local for yourself and just use those services, great. But also, if you wanted to have rent it out for some time, you get to earn revenue from that. You get to be an active participant in the future of AI by owning a node. And so, similar to like a lot of other crypto projects where they want have early supporters,
Hmm.
this is an opportunity to get in early. This is an opportunity to drive the future of AI. And be a part of the governance process, be a part of the growth. And as a result, you're when Pi3 succeeds you start earning tokens from the Pi3 ecosystem and its economy, you're going to be one of the first landlords of this and get to actually be a part of AI's future.
Okay, so this is something that I'm sure we're going to dive into a little bit deeper as we sort of go through the rest of this talk. Uh, but obviously, it sounds like there's obviously a wide economy within the Pi3 network, and holding a node obviously positions you to be in the best position in this economy, right, for earnings and just generally contributing to the network. Is there something you can show to visualize that for us so we can really see like what does it look like to hold a node in this economy? How can I earn, and how can I spend, for example?
Sure. Uh, bring up the screen again. All right. So we last week we talked about how Python is bringing trust into the AI space,
Hmm.
and the like, and how we're going to be this infrastructure. That's why this is titled Trust Layers. You know, the trust is everything. So once we've established now that we've kind of established trust, we're creating
Hmm.
what we're calling a trust economy. And Pi3 is really unlocking a new agentic economy for the AI space. And as a node holder, you'll have a PA3 wallet, and then that where you can hold PA3 tokens. And this is a utility token. You cannot buy this token. You can only earn it through activities in the network. So
Okay.
what activities are we talking about that you get to have as a node holder? First, it's about that contributing compute. You can have a node attached to a CPU, a GPU, or have it downloaded onto your personal machine, and then you can rent it out to others who want to do bigger tasks. Say a colleague wants to develop a model for their need for their for work. They can put a request out to the network. The network responds, says, "Hey, yeah, you can use my PC during these times," and then from there you earn some revenue from their activity.
Mm-hmm.
But also data. AI thrives off data. It has to with its performance is dependent on the data that it's trained on. And so you as have an opportunity to contribute quality data to AI training. So if you have unique data sets that are important for a certain use case, you can allow other groups to have access to it, and then from
Mm-hmm.
there earn money off it, which is something you can't do with ChatGPT. You send your data there, they're just using it. So this is
Yeah.
an opportunity for you to be an active, have control, but have an active part of the data sharing element. But also with PA3 nodes, you now have compute power and a network to make your own models. So if you want to make your personal assistant, you make a better one that's not available in the network, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can also help with testing. Every AI agent needs to be vetted. It needs to be understood. What is its limitations? What is it good at? What is it bad at? And then improve on
Mm-hmm.
it. You can be a part of that process. So those are the activities you can do as a node holder, and then from there earn income from that. But also we have programs. So we have rewards, which are going to allow you to claim PA3 tokens. I'll go into those
Okay.
specifics later. But also an emission schedule, which 25-year emissions. So you'll earn tokens by being a PA3 owner over 25 years. And so that's a short-term and a long-term opportunity by being a holder. Then
Okay.
by being a holder, you can also do your own AI activities as well. And so this is the centerpiece. This is the key to being a part of the PA3 community and being able to use it fully.
No, that's amazing, and let's just break that down again, nice and simply for the listeners, right? Especially in the ways that you can earn from holding a node, because I think that's it's a key factor to highlight about why this is such a great opportunity. Like you said, the claiming from the second you buy the node, you'll be able to claim tokens, which is again you mentioned something that we'll dive into in just a moment. But that's great because you don't have to do anything but buy the node, and then tokens are already coming in. And then, as you said, the computing contribution that stands out massively as a reason to have a node rather than be needing somebody else's node in the future, right? Would you rather be the somebody that's paying to use somebody's node, or the person that's receiving receiving money to use your node, right? So it's
Mhm.
another key reason why holding a node early will put you in a really good position. And then, of course, like you said, the data contribution, great. Where else can you do that? Where else is your data just not being used without your permission and sold on? And of course, the AI model contribution and testing and all those other bits really sounds brilliant. So yeah, I just wanted to sort of bring those points up again as sort of key factors as to why holding a node is so important. So I guess my next question would be is we can highlight all of this, right, as good reasons to hold the node, and maybe we've briefly mentioned it in what we said, but let's break it down. What's the incentive for someone to actually run a node and hold a node versus, just holding tokens or using the tools? Let's say, imagine I don't buy a node, but, in the coming months or years, I want to go ahead and contribute or use the PA3 network, but all I have is some PA3 tokens or maybe nothing at all. I just want to utilize those tools. So, yeah, what's sort of how does that all work?
So first off, if you own a node, you kind of own your little piece of it. kind of like if you own property, and you can do whatever you want in it. It's yours. You have
Okay.
an active owner's stake in the AI in PA3. And there's a limited amount of space. There's actually 314,000 nodes available in our island. So once they sell out, there won't be any new owners. You know, you could buy one from a
Okay.
previous owner. So it is,
See.
however, once future users will have to rent out resources going forward once they're sold out. So this is your opportunity to get into the AI space in this Pi3 and community and be active participant, earn money from it, but also be able to run your activities at a minimal cost. Once it's sold out, each person will have to start paying like a rent fee. So,
Yeah.
um, and then also by running the node today, you know, if like right now I have a few nodes that I'm running, and why am I doing that? It's because I'm trying to build up a reputation score. And so
Okay.
my node is going to be attached to a good cloud CPU right now. And because I'm doing that, my node is earning a score for quality of compute availability and uptime availability. And as a result, as the network grows, as the demand gets higher, my node will have a higher priority stake in going forward. So which means I'll get more tasks than someone who's brand new. And so right now is an opportunity to get a node, build this reputation, and earn some tokens from it. And as a result, you'll have a head start over someone who buys it in at the last second in the future.
Okay. So I get you. Um, and obviously a big part of that is what we just said as well, right? If you don't have the node and you want to use it, you've got to lease somebody else's node. It just doesn't get you doesn't put you in quite the position it does if you hold a node. But maybe just one more question. What I'm thinking is, I've got you know what, let's just start with this one. Oh yeah, perfect. I mean, you literally just read my mind of where I wanted to go, right? Um, yeah, okay, this is perfect. Seeing it broken down like this. So node rewards 1,500 PA3 tokens over 36 months, which means 41.6667 per month from the date of purchase, right? So the second you purchase a node, those tokens are already coming in for you every month. Then you're earning reputation on that node, which is something that you mentioned. And referral program, get 20% off. Could you explain a little bit about that and the Supernode program?
Sure. So we've also sweetened the deal. I've talked about, you know, earning reputation. I've talked about, you know, what you get, but we also want to make this program that supports early supporters. And so we've created this node reward program, as you just described, where you earn the 1,500 tokens, which gives you that the initial gas to start your AI experience. But
Yeah.
also there's a referral program as well. And so if you get if you refer others to the nodes, to the network, you'll get a 20% off discount on other nodes that you can buy. And so we're really trying to encourage early supporters to get something nice from helping us. And
Yeah,
then
makes
from that,
sense.
but also for the super node, you know, if you buy more than 10 nodes, right, we're adding an additional grant pool that's about $6 million that'll be available around testnet, which is in a few months, which will be released in Q3 of 2025. And this money will also allow you to really kickstart your AI experience in Pi3. So you could start doing a lot of AI modeling and things if you wish with the
Okay.
support.
Wow. So the Supernode program is super appealing. Only available to 3,141 wallets. Presumably that's the first 3,141 Supernode holders.
Exactly. So for the first community members, the first that have 10 or more nodes in their wallet, they're going to qualify for this program. Once it's kind of sold out, I guess, this program will be closed.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes sense. So do you know what? I think this is actually a really good time. So we've had a really exciting, as you know, Daniel, we've had a really exciting update this week where our node manager V1 is actually live. So I had a little look at it earlier. I didn't have a lot of time to dive into it, and yeah, I just haven't really looked at it properly. I wonder if now's a good time. Maybe I could bring it up and we could have a little look together. You could sort of walk me through what I'm actually looking at.
Absolutely.
Cool. I'm pretty sure I have more than 10 nodes as well for that exact reason, the supernode program. So it would be interesting to see if we can visualize that. Bear with me, let me share my screen. Okay, brilliant. So yeah, first things first, let's just navigate over to the correct section. So we're on the website. First of all, you want to head over to PA3.ai. And then you want to head on over to the own section here. Now, if you don't have a node already, buy nodes is the place to go. Make sure you go ahead and buy yourself a node, or of course, nothing will be visible in your dashboard. And we've already explained why it's a good reason to buy a node. So let's have a little look at the dashboard here. So as I said to you, Daniel, yeah, here we go. Also, I should mention, guys, you can connect your wallet. I've already been on here once before, briefly had a look, but just press the connect button. You can connect with your MetaMask and a couple other options. Follow the instructions, usually on the top right, or some sort of pop-up to sign and authorize, and then everything will let you in here, and you will be able to visualize your nodes. So, yeah, as I said, look, I've activated a couple of them, and I've got enough nodes here for a supernode wallet. So, I guess, Daniel, can you just sort of explain to me what are we looking at here, and obviously why I should go ahead and activate these other nodes and anything else? Can you just walk us through this?
Sure. So I see that the first two you have are already running. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
great. And so
Okay.
those are earning reputation and they're earning the PI3 token. So they're building they're actively contributing to the PI3 network.
Okay.
So what the ones that you have inactive are still off. They're not contributing, and they're all isolated pieces. And so
Okay.
you need to activate all of them to earn full potential. So that's
Okay.
why it's important to activate. And so if you
Is it going to
uh,
work doing it this way? Is this the way to do
uh,
it?
well, let's start with just simply hitting one of them and showing that it's working.
Sure.
So
Okay.
you hit activate. It's going to take a
There
bit,
we
and then
go.
you get a notification here saying it was successfully activated. So perfect. Now you got three that are running. You can also do batch. So if you look at the top, like select
Yeah.
all,
Oh, okay.
and then actions, there's a activate feature.
Oh, maybe because I've got a couple here that are already activated. So maybe if I just take those ones off,
Perfect.
then that should make sense.
Yeah. So give it a little time, and then it'll active. These will all be activated. It takes a little bit to get going. But let's talk about, as you can see there.
There we go.
So let's talk about some of the
Amazing.
features. So right now there's two states. There's running and paused. So
Yeah.
running is obviously the preferred one because then it's running, it's earning reputation. But if
Right.
it's, well, why would you want to pause it? So if it's on my local machine, right, and I want to have full capacity of my CPU for work, for, streaming video, whatnot, I could pause my node to free up that space that's being used for PI3. So that's why
Okay.
we want to make sure that people are able to turn on and off those nodes at will. Currently, these nodes are in the cloud, so this is less of a use case at the moment. But as we branch out and get it to be on the local space, this pause button will become more important.
Okay.
And so um, the other part with this that I think is right now you see very basic information. We are currently working on a new version coming out in the next few weeks that will expand what you can see. So you can actually see the reputation score, developing, because everyone has a fresh node right now. Everyone's set at 0. Um,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, graphics, and you can actually see your PA3 tokens accumulating. You can see the
That's
CPU
a big thing.
usage,
Mm.
memory usage. And so while this is our basic version 1, we have version 2 coming out in a few weeks that are going to really let you manage and understand what your node is doing, and allow you to connect them together into configurations and clusters of nodes that'll help you perform your AI tasks in a better way under your control.
Okay, amazing. So I think I'm understanding. So let me just relay a little bit of that to make sure I've got it. So obviously all my nodes are here. Before I even activate the nodes, these nodes would have been earning tokens for me already, right? That's correct.
Right, exactly. So
Perfect.
the time the clock for the PA3 token begins the day you purchased per node.
Okay.
So if you
Okay,
bought a
great.
new node, so if the node, let's say 824 here, I don't know
Hmm.
when you bought it,
Yeah,
but it's been earning the right to claim nodes from that date. So if you bought a new one, that would be time 0 for that node.
makes sense. And I'll be able to visualize all of this quite easily in V2, like you said. That will go. I'll be able to see what tokens I'm earning on each node.
And also what tokens for, because you have more than 10 supernodes, so what rewards you've
Oh, yeah.
received from the supernode program as well. So you get a lot more dashboard capability. Um, can you do
Amazing.
one thing? Can you hit a pause button on one? I want the audience to know that this is actually that that it's working.
Okay. Yeah, I've gone ahead
So
and paused.
perfect.
Yeah, great stuff. Great stuff. All right, so I'm understanding. This is where you visualize your nodes. Obviously, with V2, we're going to have that dashboard where we're going to be able to see the tokens that we're earning from each node. And on top of that, as I'm a supernode holder, I'll be able to visualize, where I stand with my supernode. And again, I'd like to just highlight, because I think this is an important part that might be overlooked. The important part to activating these nodes is that you'll have a longer uptime, right? The sooner you activate it, the longer the uptime will be, and uptime contributes towards reputation. Reputation is going to be important, especially in the future of the network, because let's say you want to lease out your node. Your node's going to have higher reputation. It will be higher in the leaderboard. It will be a more sought after node, meaning more income essentially for your node.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, I think I got it. Is there anything else that we need to go over, or that the listeners should know about this node manager for this version or the next version?
This is our version 1, and we're excited. We published this week, and and so this is your opportunity to buy nodes. This is your opportunity to start actually running nodes, and this is the beginning of a journey that we're going to keep pursuing, and I'm happy to share with you updates going forward.
Amazing, great stuff. So if you want to go ahead and be able to visualize your nodes in the node manager and you don't own a node, now is the time to get in. So you can come on over here to the node sales section and you can go ahead and purchase yourself a node. Of course, if you do want to get involved into the super node program, then 10 nodes is the way to go. And the reason to do that sooner rather than later is because, as the phases go on, you will be essentially a higher point of entry for you to get involved. So, all right. That's great. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Thank you so much for walking me through that, Daniel. I think there's some really useful information in there for myself and for all of the listeners on how to stay on top of their nodes and essentially just track everything, right? So thank you so much for that. But I guess we're going to be running out of time for today. So just a couple more questions I'd love to squeeze in. We've already sort of said, and this is kind of what I just touched up on there, right? We already said about why listeners should hold a node, but why is it important that our listeners hold a node sooner rather than later?
It's all about building that reputation on a node-based level. So down the road, years from now, the early supporters that had their nodes activated today are going to be able to do more tasks because they're going to have a higher footprint in the network. There is an added component, which is, what GPU. Like if you had your node attached to your cell phone plus your reputation, you're not going to contribute much. But if you have, right now we're attaching them to associating them with cloud computing right now. That's
Hmm.
very powerful. And so you're earning that reputation based on that node infrastructure. And that is the key piece. You get to be a bigger member in the community. But also it's important because we have this node program that allows you to earn in the short term at the first 3 years, and then also the long-term 25 emissions calendar as well. And so you're going to benefit from having PA3 tokens, earning them earlier, and then being able to contribute to the network and be an active participant sooner. I like to also highlight that this is real estate. So if you have once they're all sold out, there aren't going, you can only rent them in the future. And so
Yeah.
this is your opportunity to be to be that landlord as opposed to the renter in the Pi3 network.
All right, amazing. Makes sense. Makes sense. So the reputation angle is really, really important, I think, as well as like you say, once they're gone, there are no more to get. And like I mentioned, one more point, as we just saw on the website, as the node sale progresses, the prices of the nodes are increasing. So that's another reason to jump on it sooner rather than later. Okay, so we're going to be wrapping up shortly. Let's maybe just time to squeeze in a couple of extra questions. I noticed that you referred to Pi3 Nodes as the real estate of AI quite a few times. Can you kind of like unpack that analogy a little bit for the listeners?
Sure. So imagine Pi3 network is like an island or an apartment building where it's a community that is sharing the resources together. They're coming together to do AI activities, but in the end, it is still a limited space. 314,000 nodes, and if you want to own one of those nodes, and run one of those nodes and earn your reputation, earn your Pi3 tokens, so that you're an active participant as opposed to a reactive one. And so if you own these nodes, you can lease them. You can send them to them. You can have when others are trying to gain part of the network, they're going to have to stake. They're going to have to seek out um, you as an early supporter to
Hmm.
use the technology, and uh, that's the benefit. So that's why it's like digital real estate. So you can either own the piece or you can be a guest. So
Yeah.
I think being an owner is a lot better than being a guest or in that space. And then you get to earn rent on the money that you're from those guests. And so it's kind of a win-win in terms of our ownership. That's why I use the real estate
Yeah, it's
analogy,
a good
because it
analogy.
really is your ownership of the AI space.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. It's a good analogy. Thank you for thank you for explaining it. Okay, so just before we wrap it up, I mean, what's your personal take on it, Daniel? I mean, why are Pi3 nodes one of the most important parts of this whole project? I mean, you don't have to dive into it too deeply here. I know you've spent the whole of this session explaining it, but just high level, why do you believe that the Pi3 nodes are the most important part of the whole project and a vital part of this AI space going forward?
So as over the last few weeks, we've talked about a lot of the pioneer parts, the trust layer, the app, doing all the inferences and so forth. And for me, that part is really exciting. Like, it's fun. It's seeing AI work for you I'm doing the prompt, so for myself. But um but and that progression has been we've been really pushing that roadmap, and it's exciting times.
Yeah,
But the node is the foundation on which that happens. Without the node, Pioneer doesn't work. If you don't have a node, you can't, Pioneer is not going to work for you. You're going to be the guest, not the owner. Without the compute power, your AI experience will have to be leased out, will have to be rented from someone else. And so this is the infrastructure that is going to run the Pi3 network, the Pioneer application, and all its AI features. And so While the other part is the exciting, the part that people are going to use every day in their interaction. This is the foundation of a building, of the house that is Pi3 network. And so this is why I'm really excited that we've made such progress here, is because this is when Pi3 becomes accessible. We're opening it up to the community, and this is their chance to buy into this project and really support our work going forward. And so um, this is our nodes is what's bringing AI to the community and to the people.
Amazing, amazing. So the last thing that I'd like to highlight, we have run out of time for the day. One more time, guys, if you want to go ahead and grab yourself a node whilst you still can, head on over to pi3.ai. You'll be able to come over to the own section and press buy nodes, which is going to drop you to this page here, give you a little bit more information. Of course, if you want any further information, never hesitate to reach out to us on Telegram, Discord, or any of our other platforms. We are currently in the node sale phase 5 at the moment. So, be sure to get involved in phase 5 before we get over to phase 6 to make the most of it. And I believe that is all we have time for today. Daniel, unless you've got anything that you'd like to add?
I'd like to highlight kind of the roadmap. So we're shooting for mainnet and TGE in Q4 of this year. We're aggressively pushing that timeline, but there will be a test net in Q3 in a few months from now. And so that for those who are involved and have nodes, we might open up a beta test option where you can start contributing in that test net and helping us get better. And so that's a timeline that we are really pushing. And so hopefully in the summer of this year, 2025, we'll have your nodes can start being used more fully. So it's heading, we're almost there. In terms of the actual node sale, we're trying to finish it in Q2. And so as we're going, as you showed in the graph, the prices are moving up. And so I think it's a good time to get early, to get a good discount and become an owner in Pi3.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you for taking the time to dive into today's topic. Of course, episode 3 being Pi3 Nodes Explained. I hope that all of the listeners feel that the Pi3 nodes have been explained. I certainly feel a lot more knowledgeable. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, we'll have episode 4. The topic will be revealed a bit closer to the time. But until then, make sure you do drop us a follow on all our social media. Hit that bell notification to make sure you don't miss out on all the latest updates and news. I've been Alex.
And I'm Daniel, and it's been wonderful talking about the Node Manager and the recent releases and updates that we've had in the last over the last month.
Great stuff. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you on next week's episode. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.